Anansi and the Lake Fishing Contest. Every year, Sunny Grove Primary hosted a big spring festival, and the most exciting event was always the Lake Fishing Contest. It was a beloved school tradition because anyone could fish, no fancy equipment was needed. You just needed a rod, a hook, and a little bit of luck. Well, unless you were Danny Green. Danny had won the contest 3 years in a row, and he never stopped bragging about it. He strutted around with his fancy golden fishing rod and whispered about his special bait, a secret recipe that only he knew. "No one stands a chance against me," he said, tossing his fishing line like a champion. "I've already made space on my shelf for my next trophy." Anansi rolled his eyes. He was the worst fisherman in school. Every year, he tried, and every year, he caught nothing. Not even a tiny fish. He had terrible luck, his line never moved, his bait always got soggy, and sometimes, he even fell asleep waiting for a bite. But this year, Anansi wanted to win. Even if he wasn't the best at fishing, he was the best at being clever. The contest begins. At the sound of Mr. Johnson's whistle, students cast their lines into the lake. Plop! Went the hooks into the water. Danny leaned back confidently. Within minutes, he had already caught 2 fish. "See that?" he called out. "That's skill." Anansi sighed. He stared at his fishing line, which floated on the water, completely still. Just like last year. And the year before. And the year before that. "Maybe I really am the worst fisherman in the world," he muttered. Frustrated, he put his rod down and decided to take a walk along the shore. That's when he noticed something strange in the tall reeds. A large fishing net, filled with fish, was floating near the water's edge. Anansi's eyes widened. Someone must have left it behind by accident. Excited, but knowing he had to be fair, Anansi quickly ran back towards the festival area and started asking around. "Did anyone lose a fishing net? A really big one, filled with fish?" He asked the teachers. They shook their heads. He asked the students. No one claimed it. He even asked Mr. Johnson, the contest judge, but the teacher simply chuckled and said, "Well, if no one's claimed it, I suppose it doesn't belong to anyone." Anansi grinned. Anansi's big catch. Hurrying back to the reeds, Anansi carefully dragged the net to his fishing spot. He emptied the fish into his bucket, making sure they looked as natural as possible. Just as he finished, Mr. Johnson blew his whistle. "The contest is over. Bring your fish forward for the final count." One by one, students proudly showed their buckets. Some had 2 fish, some had 3. Then it was Danny's turn. He lifted his bucket high, showing off 5 big fish, more than anyone else. Danny smirked and puffed out his chest. "I told you all, I'm the best. No one can beat me." Then Anansi stepped forward. When he lifted his bucket, the crowd gasped. It was overflowing with fish. Danny's smirk disappeared. His jaw dropped. "That's impossible. There's no way he..." But before Danny could finish, Mr. Johnson clapped his hands. Well, we have a new champion this year. Congratulations, Anansi. You win the golden trophy and the fishing set." The crowd cheered, and Anansi stepped forward to accept his prize. Danny stood there, mouth open, eyes wide, speechless. As the festival continued, the teachers collected the fish and prepared them for the big spring feast. The scent of grilled fish filled the air as everyone sat together, laughing and enjoying the meal. As Anansi bit into a delicious piece of fish, he couldn't help but chuckle. He hadn't technically broken any rules, he had simply taken an opportunity when it came his way. And wasn't that the best kind of cleverness? From that day on, whenever anyone asked him about his legendary fishing skills, Anansi would just smile and wink. An opportunity used wisely can lead to unexpected success. The end.